Criminal investigators, journalists, and authors have considered some heists, hijackings, and even murders as perfect crimes. In these instances, the criminals left no evidence at the scene, or the execution of the crimes prevented authorities from ever solving the cases. A perfect crime is an unsolvable crime, but not due to any incompetence of investigators. The term delineates a criminal action in which the perpetrator deliberately left no evidence behind, and in extreme cases, the crimes themselves are undetectable. Before we get into the video, make sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you will be notified of our new videos. The 300 million yen robbery. On December 10, 1968, a policeman on a motorcycle pulled over a Tokyo-based Nihon Shintoku Genko bank car that was transporting Toshiba employee bonuses. Reportedly, the officer warned the 4 passengers in the car that there was a bomb planted underneath, and they quickly vacated the vehicle, leaving the uniformed patrolman to crawl under the car. Moments later, smoke and flames poured out of the bottom, causing the occupants to run. Then the faux cop jumped into the bank car and drove off with the money, which amounted to 300 million yen, or approximately $817,000 for the time. The investigation included an exhaustive list of evidence and suspects, and over 170,000 police detectives were active in the case. In 1975, the statute of limitations ended. Tokyo authorities never identified the robber who impersonated an officer. The case became the most famous heist in Japanese history. D.B. Coopers Hijacking. On Thanksgiving Eve, 1971, a hijacker under the alias Dan Cooper boarded a Northwest Airlines flight in Portland, Oregon, wearing a suit and tie. Once the flight was in the air, he ordered a drink and passed a note to the stewardess, which read, "I have a bomb in my briefcase. You are being hijacked." He demanded $200,000, 2 parachutes, and a fuel truck. When the plane landed in Seattle, Cooper exchanged the hostages on the plane for the money and parachutes and then ordered the plane to take off again. A half hour into the flight, Cooper deployed the back stairs of the airplane and jumped out. An exhaustive investigation turned up no clues as to where Cooper, who a local news story misidentified as D.B. Cooper, or the money wound up. Years later, authorities recovered a portion of the money near the Columbia River. Banco Central Tunnel Heist. In 2005, authorities investigated Brazil's largest bank robbery to date. A group of Brazilian burglars disguised as a landscaping company dug a tunnel of approximately 200 meters under the vault of Fortalez's Banco Central. After 3 months of digging, the gang crawled beneath 2 city blocks to the bank, blasted their way through a meter of steel-reinforced concrete, and emptied out the vaults. They stole an amount of nearly $72 million. In 2001, Brazilian authorities reportedly apprehended over half of the 35 gang members involved in the heist, yet only recovered a small percentage of the stolen money. The Guinness Book of World Records named this as the greatest robbery of a bank. The Twin Jewel Thieves. On February 25, 2009, 3 masked robbers used a rope ladder to break into the second largest department store in Europe, Kaufhaus des Westens, Katowice locals, and stole $7 million worth of diamonds. In their haste to get away, one of the perpetrators left behind a single glove. However, forensic analysts concluded the DNA found on the glove matched 2 people. The suspects were identical twins, identified only as Hassan and Albaso. German law requires that the prosecution conduct individual convictions. Because the twins' DNA was so similar, it couldn't be determined which one was actually involved in the crime. The authorities did not charge either man, yet they were never able to identify any other suspects. Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum Heist. On St. Patrick's Day 1990, 2 men dressed as police officers walked into Boston's Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum, duct taped 2 unarmed guards, and cut 13 paintings out of their frames. The heist reportedly took 81 minutes. The value of the works, including paintings by Rembrandt, Degas, and Manet, totaled approximately $500 million. The FBI never recovered the stolen paintings, whose empty frames still hang in the museum as a reminder of what was stolen. The museum is offering a $10 million reward for any information on the crime. Jimmy Hoffa's murder. On July 30, 1975, American labor union leader Jimmy Hoffa disappeared. The famous Teamster had many well-known enemies. At the time, the FBI suspected Hoffa of stealing from the union's pension fund. 2 weeks after the investigation became public, Hoffa vanished after leaving a Detroit restaurant with several known mafia members. After 7 years of dead ends, the FBI declared Hoffa dead. In 2004, Frank Sheeran, known as the Irishman, told Boston authorities the mafia employed him to shoot Hoffa. Sheeran then led police to the alleged scene of the crime where investigators recovered DNA evidence. However, forensic analysts were unable to conclusively link the DNA to Hoffa and could not corroborate Sheeran's account. Jack the Ripper and the Whitechapel murders. In 1888, an unknown assailant attacked and killed at least 5 women in the Whitechapel district of London. Known as Jack the Ripper, the murderer predominantly targeted prostitutes and killed them with medical precision. Scotland Yard detectives suspected the killer had experience as a doctor or a butcher, based on the demonstrated knowledge of anatomy. Locals knew the killer as Leather Apron. The media proliferated the pseudonym Jack the Ripper based on letters the alleged Ripper sent to the Central News Office. Police never confirmed the validity of the letters, nor did they identify any suspect. British Bank of the Middle East robbery. On January 20, 1976, a gang of robbers suspected of having ties to the Palestine Liberation Organization broke into the British Bank of the Middle East in Beirut, Lebanon. The armed robbers blasted through a wall and burst into the bank. The robbers reportedly occupied the bank for several days. Citizens and authorities did not notice their presence as Lebanon was engulfed in civil war at the time. Unable to get into the bank's main vault, the gang enlisted a group of Corsican safecrackers to gain access. The robbers then made off with anywhere from $20 to $50 million worth of gold bars, currency, stocks, and jewels. Northern Bank Heist. Authorities consider the ransacking of the Northern Bank headquarters in Belfast, right before Christmas 2004, as one of the largest bank heists in UK history. The night before the heist, the robbers visited the homes of 2 Northern Bank officials, dressed as police officers. They took the managers' families hostage and demanded access to the vaults, which they then robbed after business hours. The unknown perpetrators stole the equivalent of approximately $39 million in British pounds. The Irish and UK governments blame the Irish Republican Army, who vehemently denied any involvement. The heist still remains unsolved, and Northern Bank had to recall and reissue hundreds of millions of pounds worth of cash in an attempt to thwart the circulation of the stolen money. For more interesting videos, make sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Thank you for watching.